Hey everybody, welcome to Forge the Narrative. This is our Monday Night Live Webcast. As you can see, I got Rob Beasy in the house tonight.
Hi.
Does anybody say Beasy anymore? I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know.
Well,
That's
there's some corrections to that. Like you can go Bizzle or Beasy with it.
I don't think I can do that.
I prefer Bizzle.
I can't say that.
The only rule that you must go easy instead of Izzle is when it starts with a G sound or a J sound. Because
Anyway. Got my co-host Juice.
Hey, what's up, guys?
It's like he's rocking a nice new haircut.
Yeah, looking fresh.
Gotta get the fade going on.
Got that ill fade.
And Kenny Boucher.
What's up, guys?
Man,
What
the
is
boys
going
are
on,
back
everybody?
in town. Man, it's good to have everybody all together.
Everybody, but this is our first show of 2015, right? It is?
Yes.
It is our first show of 2015?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
First live show.
Yes.
It's the 5th, and we do this every week, 7 days.
You're right. You're not wrong. I lose track. I don't even know what day it is.
The 5th.
I hope it's Monday or no one's showing up. That's all I can say. But anyway, it is nice to have everybody back, and nice to have Rob here in town. We got so much stuff going on. We're on our seasonal's coming up soon. We've already had a bunch of registrations for that, so it's nice to see people coming in.
I'm going to that.
You are.
I think I'll be there. I'm bringing 5 hot tyrants.
You're also going to that.
Wow, that's a mean ringer, dude.
Someone's already asked me.
I'm using 5 I've done
Someone has already asked me which one of us is going to play the ringer, and I think there was some concern in why they even asked. So, like if there's a need for a ringer, somebody's going to be stuck in last place. As long as
Juice, can you reach your new figure of the ringer?
Oh yes, it's actually that's the halftime break.
Oh okay, all right, fair enough.
I gotta keep it on a strong leash.
Oh yeah, they don't want it scampering off.
Hey Lou, what's going on, man? Haven't heard from you in a while. I gotta shoot you a text here in a little bit. I was thinking of you. Glad to see you here on a Monday night. We got Bill in the house. Lamont, what's going on? Chandler, D, Angelo, Solo Falcon, V404, Melissa checking in. Lady of Slanesh. Oh, everybody's favorite 40K Sue.
She's my favorite, but I'm not hers.
Yep.
I think we determined you might be third.
Wow. Dang.
Oh man, Steve Bruley has already just let everybody know that he has subscribed to Kenny's new YouTube channel. If you guys haven't done that, please check him out on Facebook.
You guys do that. If you subscribe here and then go subscribe there.
Really, any order you want to do it in.
And then go subscribe there.
Yeah.
That's right.
I got a video channel. It's called Spiky Bits.
Yeah, and then go ahead and unsubscribe to the other 40K things that you.
And burn everything else. No, I don't mean that at all.
Not at all.
We're only an hour, so you need 8 things to subscribe to per day from work.
That's true. You got to fill your content box. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. There's this one called Forge the Narrative. I did a lot of driving. I was listening to it.
Yeah, you brought your 40K game. I was scared. Rob put together a list. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to play that. First time I've ever felt that way.
Yeah, I played. I was down in Texas over the weekend. I played. I was over at Nick Rose's place, The Truth, and I played Thomas Go Boy. We to a tie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was he all mad?
No, he was fine. We were mostly affected by the cold. It was an unreasonably chilly 32 degrees.
Why were you guys playing outside like crazy people?
No, that's the funny part. Apparently, they don't have heaters in Austin.
Oh, they don't. It's just like, let me paint the pictures for the people out here who may have not been to Austin. I have driven there many times for obviously BowlsCon in the past or WarGamesCon. I used to have a super sweet idea when you'd leave at night, and then the sun would rise, and it'd give you new vigor as you were coming over the horizon into Texas. Last time I did that, sun breaks the horizon, just poking through, blinding me, put my shades on, look up at the thermometer of my car, it's 102 degrees. It's like 7 a.m. So
not cool.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it was an interesting time. No, I really enjoyed it though. It's a great place. It's fun. Austin's a great city, and
were you able to see Ben? Or how's he like in Texas? Ben Malee, is he?
He's in Dallas, right?
Yeah, he's up in Dallas. Okay.
That's
see him.
the equivalent of being like in Virginia and North Carolina when you're referring.
Basically,
to Texas.
Yeah, actually, it is.
I think it's
very
farther. Dallas is farther than Austin, isn't it?
So Rob's doing the tour of the Southeast and Southwest.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Gonna head up to North Carolina tomorrow to see some guy that may or may not be on the show.
Holla.
That'd be nice, man. Well, we got a bunch of
the 15 days of the ROBBB.
Our discussion on the last podcast about what is a combined arms attachment and faction building list out of factions has gotten us quite a bit of I guess comments on Facebook and our messages, people giving us the basically the truth on how it really works. And of all the messages we received, none of them have been the same.
Man.
So I'm just gonna pick the one I want.
Yeah, can we just let's just roll some dice.
I mean, let me just say though, that's just the with the inconsistencies in the rule books and the codexes that we've seen, and then the way the main rule book is listed or got it spelled out there is some confusion, or at least enough gray area to cause people to do it maybe different ways from gaming group to gaming group.
Yeah, there's some of the discrepancy falls into from where we are having as gamers having to retrain our mind to what a word means and what it actually means in the rule book. Like we're not using, like for real, like.
You're right. I mean, we're still using like sweep in advance and all sorts of shenanigans.
Yeah,
I mean, we're having to retrain ourselves. Like we used to say source. 6th edition source was a big thing. We had to train ourselves with that. Now it is that phrase is dead to us. Like a source, it doesn't mean anything. There was within a single CAD, there's the old school terminology of like three sources between fortification, a Lord of War slot, and just your army build. So man, it's definitely tough. And I actually was listening to another podcast, and they were obviously didn't listen to the podcast of ours that just dropped on Sunday, where they went in and they were under the impression and telling everybody that the all chaos, because it is all a faction, that you can run the Black May or all the different legions of chaos,
all the supplements in one CAD or whatever.
Yeah. Yep, and it happens if you don't go detail by detail and line by line and actually dive into some of this. If you just automatically assume some things, this is how just a simple mistake goes. As you guys pointed out on this past Sunday, where. Which one of the slaughter?
It looks like
it's the Black Legion that says specifically that you cannot. The Crimson Slaughter is nebulous.
It doesn't seem to indicate anything.
This reminds me of a quick anecdote I had. I actually heard this from my classmate. Like 2 years ago, he was down at his local game store. New cash dropped or whatever it was. He was down there playing a couple pickup games with his local people. Kid comes out, got a Demon Prince with a Dread Axe. And my class was like, "What? Remind me what Dread Axe does again?" He said, "Oh, it ignores vulnerables and armor." He's like, "Yo, I didn't know that Chaos had something that good." He's like, "What's in this codex?" And he pulls out the OG, 3.5. And he's like,
that 3.5 codex is really good.
Yeah, it totally.
But he's like, so you? Oh, he's like, that's cool. He said, "No, I'm just using some war gear from this." So he's using the thing that gives him he was using a couple of pieces of war gear from that. He was using Demon Prince rules from the current codex, and he had a couple of the mashups, right? Like going.
That dude was forging the narrative.
He was literally forging the narrative, and my constable was about to be like, "Yo, you can't play that," but then he was like, "You know what, man? Play it.
Yeah.
Let her ride."
Yo, for real, I feel like I need to play 40K strictly with this guy because I've got my 4th edition and 3rd and 4th edition NID book. Literally, I'm reaching for it right now.
Dude, just go 2nd edition. That's when they were the strongest they were ever been. Unlimited. Right now, you'd have unlimited warp charge dice.
Yeah.
If you were playing 2nd edition NIDs.
Man, I miss my rending gene stealers that had.
Rending dog.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I remember you couldn't target something behind something. Remember that crap?
Yeah, that's when Eldar were amazing.
Yeah,
and I took completely agree to that. My Dark Reapers have never been on the table since that time.
I mean, I feel pretty solid about the stuff we talked about on the podcast because we literally read it line for line.
I do too, but some of that stuff. Okay, what we did not include is that there is a line in Crimson Slaughter that says specifically if a character takes an artifact from Crimson Slaughter, he cannot take any other Chaos Space Marine artifacts. and we didn't specifically go over that. And I think there was some confusion when we said, so I can take a black mace and this. We didn't mean you could take it on the same guy. We were actually talking about you could take it on.
I didn't. I did. Kenny did.
Well, you were wrong, and I don't think you actually meant that. But what we were talking about, you could take a black mace on one guy. The black hand on or not the black hand, but whatever it is, the
demon heart,
demon heart or whatever, on another guy.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and we did not specifically go into that, and you're right. But we only got an hour show, and I thought we were otherwise exhaustive of our at least reading what the words were. Now, what they mean to you, what they mean to your group, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm just telling you what the words are. But that factors into what people take for our seasonal. Are we going to let someone do what we just described? Is someone going to be able to take a character with the demon heart and then a character with a black mace in the same combined arm detachment? I mean, that's something we have to decide.
If it's written, you can't.
Well, it's not. No, what it's written is you can't have a character with both items.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
But under anything else, how I'm looking at it is, yes, you can have different things. Just a single model cannot have multiple of the artifacts.
Yeah, so that's the way I read it too. But again, if there's what we counsel in any times, if you're taking a list that you think is anywhere near suspect, or if it's just even on the line of like what is determined by the tournament, then go ahead and email the tournament organizer and say, I'm thinking about bringing this, and I think it's the cheesiest possible thing ever. Is this okay?
That's a really smart line, Paul. Like, you should even have a real quick 2-sentence argument prepared too, or in case the guy comes back. Because I feel like as a TO, I'd be reasonable. Like, if I say something and then you say, I'll let you say one thing back to me real quick. If you're like, but what about this? I'll let you spit that at me. I will weigh it, and you might actually change my mind. So have something good and compelling, but make sure it's not much longer than a sentence, because I'm not going to listen to you.
And don't come weak.
But that's the same with anything, Kenny, not just 40K related. I don't know.
Pretty much.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna be one of the TOs at this season. So I'm telling you, if you find Rob, if you have more than one sentence.
Yeah, but anybody.
I'm actually
the patient one. Is that what you're saying?
I'm the head guy here at this one. I'll be there. All right.
Word. If anybody has the juice headband, you just make sure to call me over.
There you go. You get what you need. You need 3 artifacts.
It's yours.
That's,
you actually buy 2, get 1 free. That's how I'm ruling it.
That's how juice do.
Yeah. So we got a question here. Crux is checking in, saying he's a big Flesh Terrors player. Glad to see it. He wants to know, is wondering what would go well with the new Blood Angels formation. First follow-up question is, what formation?
And it's got to be the Trip Storm Raven.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and I would like to even furthermore, Crux, how do you feel about Gabriel Seth?
Does he have a power fist?
I was actually waiting. I was literally waiting for him to respond vocally. I was like, what is he gonna say?
Yeah, we're all on the side. Yo, Nick Hayden says he chooses Pikachu.
My opinion on that, let me get the Storm Raven question. If that is the case, I think that Terminators, 10 Terminators with Thunderhammer Storm Shields in that is going to win games.
Death Company's a good choice.
Death Company, if you can get 30 Death Company guys, I think that's also very strong.
A lot of.
Man,
if you can play 2,500, that's good too.
Yeah, 2,750.
What's the deal with that one with all the elites? What's the minimum on that one? Is that just an HQ and 2 elites minimum, or?
No, the minimum. I think it is 2 elites minimum.
That's kind of interesting. That's an interesting formation to me, because it kind of reminds me, obviously, of the company, the Grey Wolf. If we were trying to make a Blood Angel Super Friend squad out of like Sanguinary Guard, I would love
Sanguinary Guard are not part of that elite.
No. You take a CAD, and then bring that in additionally to your CAD. Just try to sneak out, like, so that way you can have like a librarian, a priest, and Dante, and maybe a librarian. Because I had this idea where like you would have this gigantic 20-man squad moving around with 2+ armor saves and possibly Sanctuary popping off.
What about 13 Dreadnoughts?
Man,
sure.
If I believed I ever played an army that would lose to even 13 Dreadnoughts, I would be worried about it.
13 Dreadnoughts, sometimes you just lose to 13 Dreadnoughts.
Yo, let me tell you one guy who doesn't lose to 13 Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
Justin Troop will start using his own Dreadnought close combat weapons. And I also want to give a big shout out to Lewis M checking in, and Troy. Man, we got a full house. I can't even keep up.
Yeah, it's a lot of people in tonight.
Oh,
should-
Fallen Cypher, what's up, pimpin'?
Everybody's back from the holiday. It's good to see everybody.
I was about to break into that Elijah Craig bourbon he brought us up, but it's all gone.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Facebook comment saying Rob don't drink too many glutens.
Ooh.
I don't do that. But thank
Give
you.
up the glutens. So Melissa has given us some information from her holidays, and it looks like she kind of took some of the advices. So she said, so guys played Demons vs. White Scars during the holidays. The Fleshhound Karnak was base list got slaughtered fast by bikers and hit and run, couldn't deal with it. But when swapped out for summoning list, Fate Weaver Be'lakor combo with Psychic Shrieks, miles better. Thanks a lot for it. Oh, anytime.
Yeah, sometimes Be'lakor is also one of those game winners too.
Yeah.
Be'lakor can straight win you a game if it plays correctly.
Yeah, slight bit of luck, and Be'lakor just does all the work.
There was multiple times whenever I played I played with him like 6 games in a row with Be'lakor, Fate Weaver, and the Brass Scorpion. No, there's multiple times I was like, man, I don't know what to do with him. Fine, I'll just drop him on the ground, jink for 2-up saves, it doesn't matter, and then just smash something in close combat.
Lauren Walker's asking tournament organizer question. Thunderwolf Cav with a power fist, strength 9 or strength 10. The answer is strength 10.
10, 10, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, 10.
I mean, honestly, that's is written versus rule intended. I believe the responsibles ruling has to be intended. I haven't gone to one place that people bought strength 9 for even 1 second. So I'm really glad to hear that we're going strength 10 in this event.
Yeah.
Strength 10. Now, yep.
Yeah, so Christopher Morgan, man, I love this right here. He is saying 40K your way. Loving it. Also, I'd love to see more tournaments and people's letting 30K legions into games. Love these ideas and rules.
Man, hopefully, I can't see how it's not going to work, and I can't see how people are not going to have a good time. I mean, with the way the missions are designed and the way that the armies are come together in this edition of the game, I think it's just going to be a blast for everybody involved. I mean, there's going to be some interesting, I guess some collisions between stuff.
Yeah.
But we all know we're all working out together.
Yeah, I really hope that we get at least 1 or 2 people or even more that will bring it.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, even bringing prop marks to this thing, I mean, they are powerful. They are powerful, but it's tough to build a list around them.
Mm-hmm. No, it really is, because they have that a special rule too, so you can convert it to the rest of your troops. So,
but the guy that brings 3 of those Thanatars or whatever, be on the lookout, because those things are beasts. Like we've talked about it on our show about how good the armor conveyor is.
Oh yeah, Triaris.
And those Thanatars.
Well, Thanatars, what are they like? Toughness 8 or they're not vehicles, are they?
They're not vehicles. They have a toughness. They've got a cannon that ignores cover. They're not Eternal Warrior though, so you can kill them.
But they're not. But poison only affects them on a 6.
Yeah, they got some other ability. So I mean, there are ways. Of course, there's ways to do it.
You mean Khan is gonna roll up to the guy, roll to kill him?
Oh, well, clearly.
Khan can take him out. These are just things that people don't normally prepare for in tournaments.
Right.
So prepare for it here, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of them. But it's something to be on the lookout for that could shake up the top table in the metas.
Speaking about shaking up the top tables, John has a serious question, wants to know with Rob here. He's like, Rob got a new kitten for Christmas. How do you, because he has the same problem, he's a professional painter, I can tell. He also has cats, I can tell. They like to play with each other. They also pick up the airbrushes and start playing with them. They got all this. He's got scientific cats. He wants to know, how do you get them to get off your table while you're trying to airbrush and everything? He needs
what you need to do is you need to go down to Walmart. You need to get you one of them $2 travel little squirt bottles with the trigger on it, and then you get out your black Sharpie marker and you say "Lawbringer" on it. And anytime they act a fool, you spray them.
Okay. Do you now, with the Lawbringer, at the end of this, do you put like a cat print on it so they know this is for them, or is this already implied?
They'll learn quickly.
Okay.
We got a question from the actual comments on the event page. Is like the Stormwing formation, the Space Marines one, where it's the Storm Raven and the 2 Storm Talons. Does that get the chapter tactics from a Marine chapter or not?
I think I've heard from multiple people who have played against it say it doesn't.
I don't believe it does because you don't take it as any part of any kind of detachment.
The Adeptus Astartes Stormwing.
Yep.
About to check that out right, Sean.
Yeah, I think the answer is no, and that's what I'm going with until proven otherwise.
It's a formation that consists of the following units. Chosen from Codex Space Marines, 1 Storm Raven, 2 Storm Talons.
Yeah.
Formation special rules.
I do not think it implies any chapter tactics on
I
them.
think it's its own formation.
Yep.
Independent
check out-
formation. Oh, does not benefit from the chapter tactics special rule even.
Well, there you go.
Even
It's in
says
there
Yes.
specifically, but that's probably an update.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
might
man.
not have been in the original one.
I don't remember
Sean,
reading that.
Sean S. is confirming some things that we thought Dante with Death Company is super good. Also thinking of
Well, I got a follow-up question on the Storm Ring. Yes, I think it's worth it. If you're playing something that gives you some anti-flyer and some anti-troop all in one, it is worth it.
It's a
Exactly.
strong formation.
Yeah, it's a strong formation. It is
Go ahead,
definitely.
Juice. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's definitely an all-comers formation. You've got OBJ, you've got Flyer Defense, you've got MSU. But so yeah, back to Sean. He's also thinking about adding a Wolf Priest for that preferred enemy, and the Blood Angel Sanguinary Priest in the unit with Thunder unit of Thunder Wolves having some underworld badassery. Like I absolutely love that. I want to like steal that underworld theme from you and create like the Covenant.
You got to call him Lycan, though.
Yeah. Oh man, so fresh.
Such a rip-off of properties, but I watched them. I've watched all of them.
No,
I know why you watched him.
man, I watch Starship Troopers all the time, thinking to myself, all those guys are NID players.
So true.
So I mean, how many more playtesting have you guys done with Blood Angels lately?
Uh,
I haven't gotten my full one that I want to do yet. Most of it has been the Bane formation, the Blood Angels in name only.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to get there. Like I am going to have a sea of red. Like I think that 30 plus Blood Angel Tactic Marines are actually really good. Like I put that list together, and you guys were all like, I don't really see the power of it. Like it's 30 Marines dropping in drop pods. It's Legion of the Damned dropping down everywhere. It's like 10 Assault Marines dropping down with a bunch of Melta pistols. I mean, it is stuff all in your face everywhere.
I'll tell you, man. I forgot how good a bunch of Power Armor guys can be in one place. When I was playing that 2K event up at Atomic Empire right before Christmas, they gave us 2K. So I was like, oh, I'll play Super Friends, but instead of Land Speed of Storms, I'll do 20 Space Marines and Rhinos that I'll flank, you know? And it was awesome having just 20 bodies going in places that people didn't want them to go.
Yeah, man, think about having 50 or 60 of them like that in this
Yeah.
environment right now.
Yeah.
Some people just can't deal with it. And this list I put together, this like weird many-headed Hydra, had command squads from IG to ignore cover, where they give orders to themselves. Had Legion of the Damned to ignore cover. So nothing is safe. You got Wave Serpents, dead. You got Knights. I'm gonna drop Melta guns on both sides, and
Jump
you
around.
can't get away from them. I mean, like I'm gonna hit you with these, and you just can't get away. 3 heavy flamers. Flamers and some of the guard stuff. I mean, just, anyway,
Flamers are
watch
good.
out. Yeah, the Blood Angels have lots of answers. You can basically play any kind of game you want with a Blood Angel Codex.
that definitely seems to be true because they ally so well with so many other factions. Or by factions, I mean, I guess it's factions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, Space Wolves are a Space Wolf faction.
Yeah.
And
How you guys thinking about doing? I really want to make a Sanguinary Guard squad, 10 guys on 32mm bases.
Oh yes.
How should you kit them out?
No, I just like, who has 10 Sanguinary Guards is what I'm trying to ask. Who's got those models for me? Because I don't have those. Because they never let me take a 10-man squad before.
Yeah.
It's
All
true.
I'm saying is every time that the Hive Mind, I want something else from the Hive Mind, it gives it to me. So I mean, I can start.
yeah.
Take these black armored warriors. Go forward.
Oh man, this Sanguinary Guard with 10. You get to. I don't know if the pistols were even necessarily worth it. Although the first unit I built had 10 Melta pistols in it, no joke.
that is the truth.
Just Dante and 10 Melta pistols. Like we're gonna come down right here, and we're going to blow something up.
Yeah, the really thing, what I like about it is because if you look at it probably in a vacuum, you're like, man, this is probably a waste of points. But ultimately, when you go so ham, so baloney into one kind of situation like that, you're so versatile because also with that, you're talking that's 11 shots who really wants to get overwatched by 11 melta shots?
I mean, the
there's
odds say
threats
almost 2 hit, and that means that's 2 melta hits.
On top of the 11 you just received in the shooting phase.
Yeah.
Juice,
Juice,
does your baloney have a first name? Is it
Yeah.
Dante?
It does. Capital P.
Think about they don't get the hand flamers, but you actually brought up a good question though, or I mean a good point. Like we talk about these dual wielding assault marine sergeants, having just one with a hand flamer. That means they come down, shoot, and then you're taking a bunch of hits on the charge in.
D3 from.
It weeds people out.
Yeah.
No, I love it, man. It's a game changer when you put yourself in the right spot and cover. Somebody has to come at you. You crush a couple guys. They gotta come in on your Overwatch. Maybe you kill 2 more guys, and now they fail a charge. Like that's exactly the right. That's like playing 40K the best you can. All you can do is make the right decisions every time. That's kind of one of those things we used to talk about. Those are little subtle nuances in a list that help you help you take an army that drops in and gets and it's kind of vulnerable for a turn. It maximizes your chances for success.
Yep.
I've got a question about multiple stomps. So, if a roll to get multiple stomps, but you kill everything you were fighting with the first, what happens to the extra stomps?
You put them in your pocket.
Yeah.
You can put stomps anywhere you want, man. Like
you cannot overlap another unit.
What does it say that?
I think it only says that you only have to be 3 inches from the first one.
We're about
to find out.
We're going to go.
I think the whole exploit is that
Rob Bear's on the case.
First of all, I will take compliments on my iPad.
How about you just answer the question? We only got an hour show.
So
just move on. I'll come back. All
right. So while Robbie B is doing that, I'm gonna hit up a couple more people here. Ash is saying he just played Paul's BA SW Clan Rookin list against the 40K Guru Keenan here, and he spoke highly of the performance. So I mean,
let me know how I did. I mean, that thing is. I mean, it works. Like sometimes you just spread all out.
Yeah, that's kind of a list that I'm kind of hung up on right now too. I definitely been making a lot of lists that have clan racking guy, have a priest Dante, 3 iron priests, 12 cyber wolves, and 10 secondary guard, making like a 30-man squad. The smallest base size is 32 millimeters, and everyone else is 60 millimeters.
One of the best things that when we talked about it, but it's underappreciated, I think, is that when you have all the cyber wolves or Forensian wolves or whatever in the list or in that unit, is that it really insulates you a little bit against grab weaponry.
Oh yeah.
So it's harder to first strike you with the Centurions and things like that.
Also love this interesting thing that I find happening to myself a lot with the Super Friends, having a couple of Thunderwolves in there on true 6mm bases. You can do a lot of really interesting things with spacing. Like you have one guy who's 60 millimeters, right, and then the little guys around him. That affects all sorts of things really interesting. Like people coming in with templates. It's like no matter where they put it, you only get this guy that's 60mm base. It's like when you come in and charge, if you can get the guy in the 60mm base there first, you get more guys into the combat zone who only have to be 2 inches away from a 2.5-inch base.
Yep.
And that really matters when you have this unit that's spread out. Like having like a 60 here, a 60 here, and a 60 here, then a bunch of 40s in between, then a bunch of 32s to fill it up. You find that is like incredibly optimized. Like when we were talking about like what if people just started putting their sergeants on 32mm bases and everybody else on 25? Is that not, it's kind of like that, but not.
I've been lining it up. My charges where always the bike guy gets in first, so I get people in the back lineup against him.
Gets people, yeah.
And not Dante. Dante's the guy. It's probably the second guy coming in, but still.
So I think the stomp still goes off according to the rules here. I'm just going to read you the very last sentence, and then we'll backtrack because I think that kind of cinches it. Basically, it goes over buildings, flyers, swooping flying monstrous creatures, gargantuan creatures, flying gargantuan creatures, super heavy vehicles, super heavy walkers, and super heavy flyers cannot be stomped. Do not roll on the stomp table for them if they fall under the blast marker. Any other units with models under the blast marker are stomped as normal. Now, we go to how it works. A stomp attack consists of D3 stomps. To make the first stomp, place a blast marker so it's touching but not over the Super Heavy Walker model, or the Super Heavy Walker model's base if it has one. Each unit, it doesn't say anything about being in combat, etc., that has at least one model even partially under the marker is stomped. For each unit that is stomped, roll on the stomp table, see right to determine what happens to it. And then you got the, the d6 to 1 is no effect, and etc. for stuff with wounds. Each subsequent stomp is made in the same manner as the first, except that the blast marker does not have to be placed touching the super heavy walker. Instead, it can be placed so it is at least partially within 3 inches, so that's an interesting terminology, of where the last blast marker was placed, and not over the super heavy walker. This allows you to stomp forward into the enemy. Note that super heavy walker is not moved. We assume it stomps, but ends up more or less where it started. So no restriction to being in combat, etc.
Oh wow!
Just
let me
whatever.
paint this for. Let me paint you what people in tournaments do all the time that I've played against. I have 5 guys, my 5 tactical marines trying to hold this.
Let's see if there's one.
I got 5 tactical marines trying to hold down a Night Titan, right? I just need to hold him for 1 turn. He rolls up 3 stomps. Doesn't even put one over the guys that are touching him because I have something else close enough to him on the backside on an objective. And he put it over that just to try to roll a 6 on that rhino to pop it, And then he puts one over here to try to get another 6 in the rhino. The thing I'm holding him away from an objective, he was able to still stop forward into the thing that was on the objective trying to roll a 6. So you don't even have to put the stomp on the guys that you're engaged with.
We're checking the FAQ right now, see if there's anything in there. So we'll get back to you on that. John Lamp's got a good question. He says, got State Masters coming up this weekend using the People's Mission Pack. Any suggestion on what army to use to win all games? That's such a loaded question. I like the missions are actually designed to let multiple lists be competitive. I feel like an aggressive army does better in the missions overall, though.
This is the army that wins right here. 5 flying hive tyrants. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
See, we've all got a different answer. It's like for the most part. But
the best answer though is that everyone has a bias. Every tournament organizer, every podcast, every group, every entity has a bias, has an agenda. Our agenda is, obviously our own, and we feel that it's more badass than all others' agendas. But it is. We are about engagement. We want things to engage each other on the battlefield. We want you to remove models. You don't get to win our missions if you didn't kill things.
If you didn't play, and that normally involves removals, casualties of some kind.
So an aggressive army is going to do well because it's good at removing models.
And if you guys haven't don't know or haven't checked any out, check us out on YouTube. We did some and are going over the people's missions and kind of doing a 10-12 minute breakdown, and we will have all of them done here over the next little bit. So let us know, give some insight on them.
Yeah, also don't hesitate to hit forgenarrative.com. The mission packs icon is there off on the right side. It's really easy to see. Download these things, play test them, give us feedback. I'm getting some feedback from Canada, from a couple people, everything.
I will say you need some sturdy units because there will be at least a couple of missions to where you have to be out in harm's way. Like, if you're going to get an advantage in the game, you have to put yourself in harm's way. I'm not saying you're going to die or that people, have to engage you or whatever, but you will have to put yourself out in harm's way to try to get an advantage. So having an army with some durable units in it, it will benefit.
That's a really good point. You can't, to play an army mission packet, you can't be afraid to at least pretend to sacrifice a unit to win,
Yep, exactly. We go.
So Rob's shaking his head over here. We have no answer, no further clarifications on the stomps. It looks like you can stomp through the enemy as much as you want, put the template everywhere.
To your heart's content.
You
can do a murder dance.
The 32 millimeter bases has been the topic of conversation, and Troy is just trying to figure out why there's so much hate right now for the 32 millimeter base. I don't understand it easier. It's not that big a deal. This is not the first time we've seen base sizes change.
Well, I think it comes down to 2 fundamental things. Like people don't want to. Oh my God, I got to rebase everything. Well, you can if you want. And 2, they feel like they're getting cheated, I guess, a little bit sometimes. But
look,
really
I don't want to have to buy new bases, and I don't want to have to replace my resin bases. But let me just say, it is tactically better to put them on the 32 mils, and I will be doing it. And it is a small price to pay for the advantage.
You remember when missile launchers were all the rage in the 5th edition? Don't tell me you didn't buy a billion missile launchers for $10.
Yeah, for more than that, for like the true Cyclone missile launchers, when
they were like.
They were
$25 a piece.
Yeah.
In bits. Yeah.
It was the truth.
Don't tell me you didn't pay for an advantage. I am going to be paying for those 32
I
million.
got 15 missile launchers over there in my bits box right now. I mean,
selling them all for
how much-
$25.
How much of an advantage is it? I mean, footprint-wise, it seems like an advantage, but when you come down to template weapons and things, like
It's a
you
huge
just made
advantage.
yourself bigger.
Yeah,
No,
it's a
for
huge
templates, it's
advantage.
way better. For templates, having a bigger base is always better. If you spread out 2 inches and you have bigger bases, and the rules state you have to put the whole of the template entirely over a model,
Oh yeah,
a
definitely.
direct hit means you hit less guys every time. So the thing that they are oftentimes trying to do, which is get a direct hit, is the worst thing for them now.
Well, I guess when I say getting hit by templates, I always assume when I deep strike in, all my stuff's gonna be bunched up.
Well, I mean, it will, but it'll still hit less.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they'll hit the same. That direct hit from here's the deal. It's a marginal. When you're packed up, it actually doesn't hit. It doesn't hit less figures. I don't think when you come in from a deep strike, but it will matter when you're actually moving throughout the game with flamer templates and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Jay Troop saying
32-inch bases with a 1-inch run can matter.
Oh, that's
well,
pretty
I mean, no, that doesn't matter.
If you try to place it on the center guy entirely on him, I mean, what's the math on that?
Honestly, with a 1-inch run, I mean, you're not gaining any movement from the extra base in almost any situation, but you are gaining way bigger presence.
I'm talking about gaming the rule that they have to put the whole over one base. If the base is 32.
Oh yes, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like
you were 100%
so that
right
means
about that.
that means a crappy run roll could mean more for trying to spread out from.
You're completely right. I apologize. J Troop says he's about looks like 10 Sanguinary Guard replacing his 15 Death Company for the seasonal. Man, that's
I believe in
a
that.
hard trade-off. I mean, what do you think?
I believe in it. I like coming with 2+ armor saves and power axes is.
Well, what's the map that with 5 more guys with more attacks? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, okay, hold on. What kind of weapons are you trying to put in his Death Company? You trying to give him equivalent weapons too?
Well, I would assume there's probably a couple power fists and a couple of pistols and maybe a hand flamer. I mean, I don't know. Like 10 Sanguinary Guard are the safest bet, but the Death Company are almost like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, that 2-up save versus that 3-up save is literally 100% better.
It's pretty huge. I'd rather.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather have a 2-up save.
It's 5 more dudes though, if that's the trade-off, point for point.
Takes 9 wounds to guarantee. Right, what is that? 3 wounds to make you fail a save, and they ignore 1 in 3 failed saves, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
so for every.
So, but the Sanguinary Guard, same thing on a 2+ save, because obviously you're not going to take them and not have a Sanguinary Priest.
Yeah,
That
20
2+,
12 though.
I mean, that 2+ is a
2 and 12, 1 and 6.
Yeah, Jump Pack Terminator seems good. Yeah, Sean, and going back to the stomp, Sean Brown saying, first off, shout out Sean, great to see you. Thanks for tuning in, and he's been stomping people 15 inches away for a while now. He loves it.
Oh yeah, Sean Brown seems like he's got it dialed in. He's doing stomps exactly right, and we were trying to mess it up.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. The question's a question, and it's best to go through all the rules. Like what Rob just did was he checked the codex, he checked the main rule book, he checked the FAQ for the knights, and he checked the FAQ for the main rule book.
So sometimes what you got to do, and depending on what tournament you're in, you got to check the FAQ for the tournament.
Yeah.
Yep. So Melissa here has actually got another question for us. She's prepping for a 5K Demon Grey Knights friendly game. Need some advice, please. And she has almost every possible type of demon there are, but the issues that she's running into is Drago with gate and invisibility, coming around, deep striking in, shooting, and running away. Thoughts?
Drago's hard to deal with.
Drago's
He is. You can't lock him down, and you can't insta kill him. So what I would kind of suggest in that situation is the demons can out psychic dice the Grey Knights at that point level. I think.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Like, I don't see them getting all that stuff off. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure at 5K points you should be able to put 50, 60 power dice on the table. I don't think that's a far escape at all. If that's what you're worried for.
Yeah, it is very difficult to dispel a power once it goes off. But things like kill the people around Drago, and then he's got nowhere to run.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
No, yeah, I think it's solid advice. Also, board presence. If you are worried about him bouncing back and forth, once you're playing 5,000 points, I don't know what size table you're playing on, but like there isn't a lot of room for things to go. You can kind of predict or force him to go certain places. If all of a sudden you're dropping 3,000 points in infantry models that are either corn dogs or fast moving, whatever, slow moving, Nurgle bases, anything like that, you can cover up a huge footprint of the board to control.
Take a bunch of soul grinders or whatever they're called, soul grinders, and do a bunch of template weapons, and then summon another 1,000 points of demons on turn 1.
It always seems like when you go against a summoning army, they always get like an extra 1,000 points.
Oh, it's so rough.
Every time, dude. Like, the math is if you can make it so that an average die roll gives you like 16 dice. That means you can just say 8 dice at one summon, 8 dice at another. The math is almost guaranteed that you're going to generate, 180 points a turn doing that.
Lou's asking if we think the Blood Angel, the Spartan tank, is any better in the Blood Angel Codex than it is for any other Marine.
Why would it? I don't think it's any. Oh, because you can take bigger squads?
Some bigger squads, or are you adding a bunch of, you got all these characters, independent characters or whatever now in the Blood Angel unit, or the Blood Angel army.
Can it hold 25 models?
Yeah, so for instance, 10 Terminators, a Priest to give him Feel No Pain, and Mephiston, and a Chaplain, or a Imperial Guard Priest or something like that.
No, you're right. That's a compelling point because you obviously want to put a Sanguinary Priest in every unit. So I can definitely see there being a lot of power with the Spartan in this codex.
Plus, you get those Legacies of Glory too. Don't forget, like you can equip it. I think there's one in there for 30 points where you can give it Skyfire and like Preferred Enemy.
Oh wow!
For one volley, but I mean for one time. But I mean one volley from 2 quad las cannons. Oh, and then it hits on ballistic skill.
I feel like it's that's such a worthwhile upgrade. Like I actually think Marine armies would be better across the board if a Predator Annihilator with 4 las cannons, if you could just instantly pay 25 points and it gets a Skyfire for a turn. I mean, I instantly think some Space Marine players are going to be happy about it.
I mean, technically you can, because you can take that one Legacy of Glory on any vehicle in your army if so
there you go. Imperial Armor 13 or Imperial Armor in general makes everything better.
It does.
It really does.
I want to speak about what Andrew just said right here because we're just talking about stomps. I'm sorry, but he's like ATC or ITC and Nova Fax both disallowed stomps wounding anything that's not engaged with the knight itself. What do you guys think of that?
That may have been where I was getting my interpretation from.
I mean, we covered that. We said, hey, go down the fact.
That makes sense. Why? Yeah, there you go. Go if it's cheesy, go ask your TO. They'll have an explanation for you.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, and we did mention that. Like when you're going to tournaments, see if they've got a prescribed FAQ for their event, and you know what you're getting into.
Yo, my boy John Lamp right here. He's got a sick question. He's like, should Dark Angels be envious of the coolness of Wolves and Blood Angels? Yes.
Yes, they should.
Yes.
God, the Lion is such a bad mamma jamma in the books. I mean, he's my dude. Love him, dude. He makes me take pause. Like when I'm reading about him, like an Unremembered Empire, people write that book off. I don't know why. I mean, there's some silly parts in it, but some of the parts, like with the Lion, are truly epic.
Yep.
So, yes.
I have a little math for you guys real quick. It takes 135 wounds, allowing armor saves to kill 15 Death Company.
Oh.
With the 3+ armor save and Feel No Pain, it takes 180 to kill 10 Sanguinary Guard with a 2+ save and Feel No Pain.
I mean, that's what we need to know. And I think that the Death Company have an advantage on attacks. And I could be wrong, though.
But for the price tag quality of attacks, if you just give everyone a master-crafted Blade and Carmine for free in the Sanguinary Guard price tag, that kills a lot of guys, too.
Yeah, it does.
Well, what I'm getting at is that I think it depends on how you plan on delivering them. Like, there may be an advantage because the Death Company are open to different delivery sources.
Death Company could be in a Land Raider. Like, I mean...
So, I'm not saying that's the way to go. I'm saying if your play style, this could be a toss-up, depending on what your overall delivery system is.
Truth.
But if you're going to be jumping them around, Sanguinary Guard all the way.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, if you're exposed to the elements of the battlefield in 40K, you better get them Sanguinary Guards.
Yeah, so, we got a question about the... Oh, sorry, Juice, go ahead. But go ahead, Juice.
Oh, yeah, Lamont was actually needing some of our knowledge real quick. He needs some breakdown on these scouts. You guys are probably the best to answer this question. He's like, he always hears us talking about scouts, and 9 times out of 10, they're always close combat. So he just wants to know, why are they so much better than sniper scouts? Is it just because of the Lance Peter Storm?
Yeah,
You
I mean,
gotta pay that extra point for the sniper rifle.
first off, it costs 5 more points to take sniper rifles. Second
Yeah.
of all, we do
Wait
put
a
them in
second,
Night Speeder Storms.
unless you're a Dark Angel. The Dark Angels get the sniper rifles for free, I think.
But they cost more points. They're 5 more points.
Yeah. But go ahead.
But check this out. So here's my favorite combo. I come in with like 2 Land Speeder Storms in the cut because I have flank. I get behind some like blocking line side terrain. I'll just chill for a turn, right? Then I get up 6 inches, get my 10 scouts out of my 2 Land Speeder Storms. That's 20 close combat Space Marines for all intents and purposes, right? Until I hit you with 2 Cerberus launchers, make you fail 1 blind check. I charge you with the equivalent of 10 weapon skill 9 Space Marines that are Assault Marines. Like, because you make them initiative 1 if they fail their blind check from one of those Cerberus. Like, you just say
well, the rules on that storm are like they're like this deep, you know. It's like we talk about rules to value, and there's value versus like lines of text on that thing is out of control.
A bow pistol.
But you can still take. Hang on, you can still take snipers and take the Land Speeder Storms.
Yes.
But what we're talking about is
the combo isn't there.
Yeah.
No, there's so much power into unloading shooting your 5 bow pistol shots. You know, the fact that snipers hit on a 4 is the reason there's no. I mean, the fact that these guys hit on a 4 is why there's no argument to me. Like, they're close. They get 3 close combat attacks that hit on a 4 and 1 shooting attack that's on a 4. That's a total of 4. Like, that's way better. You know what I mean? Than shooting 1 sniper round or 1 bolt round.
Even if you never get them in close combat, it's better to have the option of rolling in there with what you're talking about.
Especially because that means you're utilizing the Cerberus launcher. You're not really utilizing the Cerberus launcher to its maximum potential. Like, the Cerberus launcher makes people snap fire back at your land speeder. That's true if it failed. But additionally, it makes you a righteous bastard hitting them on 3s, and they have to hit you back on 5s, and now you got all these attacks. It's a game changer. I did it to Horton in our last game. He was like, he had like 16 pink horrors with 4+ invulnerable and a herald, and he was like, oh, I ain't worried about it for at least another turn. And so my flex shot was over here. I was like, Cerberus launcher. He failed. Charged him with 10 scouts, hand, crushed them all.
Yep. Well, also the thing is, if you look at a well-balanced tournament system, that's exactly what you're going to need to play. You're not going to need scouts with sniper rifles will not win you the game, because you might need to be over on this table quarter at the end of the game. You might need to be on this objective now. You need that maneuverability. You need some tricks up your sleeve, basically, you know, to set some combos and keep it moving. But also, before we move on from Lamont, I just want to go ahead and point out he is saying how we're going to be debating next week on how my Panthers and his Cowboys, it seems, are going to be taking it to the Super Bowl. So thank you guys for taking out Detroit for us so we can go to Seattle and not have to go to Green Bay.
That's what I got a buddy, you know, Alan. You're going to be building this Tyranid list for a huge Panthers fan. So we got a question from Sean Soria saying, Blood Angels, Terminators with dual lightning claws, is it worth it? On the charge, they have more attacks and can wound demon princes on a 4+. I think you want to have one guy in there with lightning claws.
It's good to have that option.
Sergeant. I love the Sergeant. The Sergeant with lightning claws is awesome because the priest will give him weapon skill 5 and he'll have strength 5. I think that's where it's at.
Yeah. I think what I ran back in the day was 3 Thunder. When I ran a squad of 5, I ran 3 Thunder Hammers and 2 Lightning Claws.
That's back when Field of Pain was on a 4, though. That was a different thing.
That's what I'm saying. Now
I was at 5 and 2.
Yep. I saw a question in there about Damocles, the command rhino.
It's like, is it worth it to get all those abilities? I think it is.
Yeah, you get a normal orbital bombardment now. It's not the Apocalypse template.
It's the one that actually hits when you hit?
Yeah.
Unless you get rerolls for reserves, reroll teleport deep strikes, and even orbital bombardments.
Yep.
But he's saying APOC
it's 60
only.
Points. No, it's not APOC only.
Well, there is some rule in there that says. Now I don't know what version we're looking at.
The new one, you just get a normal orbital bombardment. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check it.
Yeah, but it is for 60 points. It is a Rhino.
I don't have that book here.
But you can put here. I may be able to pull it up. But anyway, We'll address it some other time. But for 60 points, you get a lot of value for that points. I mean, it's what is it, 25 more points than a regular Rhino?
I love rules. If I can get something that has that many rules on it, man, I'll take it every time, man.
It's still a vehicle.
That's actually one of the reasons why I'm actually really sad about some of the characters that have come out, man. Like, whenever you guys and we were talking about the 30K Primarchs, man, I'm sitting there listening to these cool rules, and I'm like, oh my god, why can't everybody be like that? And then you go to somebody like Logan with his sled, and you're like, oh, cool, what does he have? It's like, literally just has a sled in his stat line. Man, like, that's, it's like, for real? Like, I don't get anything. I don't get a shiny sock, something, you know, like, so I really, things that have just options is awesome.
Tim Moat asking, he says, do we think that we'll see a 13th company data slate? Let me tell you, if you have those models, do not get rid of them.
Yeah, they're worth a lot.
Well, don't get rid of them because, yes, if that's your jam, you're going to see it. Like, I think we've even seen some recent art that had basically a wolf in Space
Step 1, they're $1 billion each. Step 2, you will get rules for them.
I'm just saying, if Lehman Russ is coming back for the wolf time, you know he's bringing with him.
Okay, look, if you need one to unload them because the value is high, then do it. But if that's your jam and you're waiting for rules, you're going to get rules. We're getting Harlequin rules, man. I'm kicking myself. I had a whole Harlequin army that's gone. I don't even know where it is anymore.
You know, David's a butthurt, Larry. He had an entire 13th Company army, man, at that ITAR campaign. He played it forever. He just started slowly dissecting it over the years and ripping them apart.
Well, I mean, it's like people are like, I'll give you $100 for those 10 Marines. Deal.
It's hard to say no to that.
Yeah, or whatever.
And now you feel like it's MC right now.
Yeah, let me tell you, man.
Question. Do I think we'll see him? Yes, I think we're going to see him.
What's Carl saying about his Blood Angels?
The 13th Company, the original formation. Right? Like,
that and Uwe Strike Force and Legion of the Lost in the Dam. That was a good time at 40K.
Oh,
the
man.
The ITAR campaign was beast mode.
So we're getting Aardvark 085 giving up the Raven Guard in favor of the Blood Angels. I don't know what took you so long.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, we were trying.
Carl, your stuff's looking good. I saw it on your Facebook page.
You remember, cool. You remember, like, for the first, 8 months, people tried to get us to get Raven Guard lists working, and we tried our hardest. As a whole pocket, like part of our focus as a show was trying to get Raven Guard to work. And they just unfortunate that they have a set of rules are shared by all the cool things.
We'll never get back.
All the cool things are shared by other chapters.
Look, you can use Raven Guard. Just play them as Blood Angels.
I can't wait to read that the Raven Lord, that book.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
Yeah.
Those have been good ones.
Yo, yeah.
Did we miss anybody?
I do apologize. We're getting towards the end of the show, and I'm actually getting ready on battery life.
I can't see that far.
Yeah. We have not hit everybody. We're trying.
Oh, man, no, believe me, I'm trying. I'm sitting here going, and actually, Crux has come back saying, Seth isn't bad. If he wouldn't be bad if he had Eternal Warrior. He was talking about the Storm Raven formation, so I'm glad we were able to hit that for him. And he was thinking about running Dreads with some Death Company. Also, specifically Cassius out of the Death Storm, since he is a special character Dread that can do some challenging and add some true choices and stuff like that. What do you guys think?
I think that's the formation with all the Storm talents, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, something else we need to look at too is in Shield of Bolt Leviathan. There's those Cities of Death, the Fighter Ace. If those are legal, which I guess technically they are.
I think it says they are legal in 40K.
There's some interesting stuff in there that we really need to take a look at.
We should. We discount a lot of those, but a lot of people do. But there's rules everywhere. This question came in early in the podcast, so Varring, the webcast, I hope you're listening. It was like starting a Grey Knights for the new year and wondering what is a good loadout for a 5-man Terminator squad.
And for Grey Knights?
Troop choice?
Maybe at least a couple hammers for sure.
I'm thinking 2 hammers.
I like to do 2 hammers and the heavy incinerator.
Yeah, the heavy incinerator seems solid. Rending isn't as good as it used to be.
Well, you don't think a side cannon?
I think I'd rather have the incinerator.
Heavy incinerator
just depends on.
And it's strength 6. Like I love it.
Well, if you deep strike, I mean the incinerator's probably pretty good.
Yeah, it's solid if you deep strike.
I'm thinking 2 hammers for sure, and at least 2 swords, and then you choose your poison on that. That's one. Incinerator or side cannon.
Yep, I like to not overthink it though, because it is still fundamentally an incredibly cheap Terminator-based troop choice. I literally don't care what weapons they have. The fact that they are a cheap choice and
33-point Terminators.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I was doing a points on a unit, and I was like, why is this unit so? It's like 160 points for 5 Terminators. I was like, what is wrong? And I was like, oh, they're like 33 points each. That's awesome.
Am I cheating?
Just to kind of point out that that fighter ace, there's a special ability that you can give to a monstrous creature.
Monstrous creatures, that's the good one.
That is the truth.
It's only 35 points too.
Yeah, as long as you're within 12 or 18 inches of the board edge, in your opponent's phase, beginning of the shooting phase, you just fly off and go into ongoing reserve.
Wait, who gets this? What is this?
A flying MC for 35 points from the fighter ace special ability. So one of my hive tyrants in my army can fly on, stay within 12 inches of the board edge, do his shooting.
You mean your warlord?
Yeah, sure, my warlord or any. It doesn't. I don't know if the specifications, so I don't wanna state that far. And then as long as you're within 12 inches of the board edge during your opponent's shooting phase at the beginning, you can just be like, I don't want to be here, fly off. And then
that isn't what I was talking. I was talking about the one that you can reroll your vector strikes with a monstrous creature.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. This other one basically makes you impenetrable.
That one's good too.
That's only a Tyranid though, right?
No, I think it might be demon. I don't have the book on me. I'm sorry, guys. I
can't wait to talk about it. Yeah,
I'm in love with this one that Juice is talking about.
Yeah,
John Lamb. But this might be one of our last questions we can get to. Is like, what's a decent loadout for Vanguard with jump packs? Don't take Vanguard.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I want to do some point out, and that's going to be my goal to try with the Blood Angel formation with the Vanguard and Stern Guard, because
the formation's different.
Yeah, because you're talking that is a free 400 points, so you've got an 800 point unit, and you're only paying 400 points for them.
Yeah, if you're taking that formation and you get that free lightning claw, then you take it.
Take them all day, every day. Take all the upgrades.
I mean, I think but I think just like a regular Vanguard unit, I don't see the value in taking them. I wish I did.
Break down that formation. Like, why do you get such a good deal with that formation?
Oh, the formation. The formation. If you take a unit, 2 units of Vanguard vets and 1 unit of Stern Guard, and all the Vanguards get a free lightning claw. Free lightning claw. 15 points apiece. 20 of them. All the Stern Guard get a free combi weapon.
Yeah, so
10 of them.
That's actually really good. Yeah.
Yeah, you get 400 points of stuff for free.
Yeah, 400 points of things for free.
Yeah, I like free.
That's compelling enough to take that formation.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like
that.
Yeah, I mean, so you might not get the value. This is how you got to look at it. You are immediately playing the game with a 400 point positive over your opponent. So now you can actually look at those 2 Vanguard units and say they can actually do half of what I want them to do, and they'll still be okay because basically they're free.
They have to take jump packs in the formation.
Well, once jump packs, but you feel no pain in those guys, and they're gonna see combat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like it's not unreasonable. That's actually
interesting, man. I'm immediately in love with this formation.
Well, I mean, so these are the kind of things we're talking about with this 3-trip Stormraven formation. Is like, I think the secret is going to be either the 10 Terminators we're talking about, or combining one of these other formations with it, because those 30 TAC Marines with those Stormravens get objectives secured. Mm-hmm. So that's the command benefit.
I mean, I don't even know how the points would have to load out, but man, what do you think about like pairing these 2 formations together? Now all of a sudden you've got like 70 billion bodies.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like this might be the truth. Like I don't know, like
so you're going to be playing with 2750 in an 1850 game.
Yeah, for real.
Without summoning even.
2250 with no summoning. Like, I summoned some lightning claws and some combi weapons.
Oh man, I gotta get to my boys. I got to get to my boy Luke real quick, man. Bolum, thanks for checking in. It's like, hey, guys, he runs a heavy Nurgle list with Typhus, Plague Marines, with Plasma. Heavy slots are usually a Blitz Nurgle with a couple Helldrakes. I seem to be having trouble with the heavy flyer list and super heavies. Any suggestions to address these specific units? He is a fluffy player, like he's got plenty of cultists I know specifically and things like that, but his love has always been, Nurgle, Plasma Melta, stuff like that, but so what's anti-flyer there? I know Chaos always kind of struggles with it.
Well, if you take squads with 4 Plasmas in them, then you're going to hit flyers.
Okay.
You might kill one of your people the same amount of flyers you hit, but it's unlikely, right? But it's unlikely. So,
what do you guys? How do you feel about?
Hang on one second. Soul Grinders, paint them up Nurgly as all get out, and they get the Skyfire with their Havoc cannons or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. That's actually not a bad thing. Also, Luke, I've been meaning to get with you until we can talk about the Imperial Armor 13.
Does he play Forge World with the Blight drones?
No, actually, I don't. He doesn't have any of those. Might have to look into that. I forgot they do a lot of shooting as well.
Well, they've got like an autocannon. They have an autocannon but they're flyers.
They're Skyfire.
Yeah, so they're able to hit with their autocannon.
Yep. They're obnoxious with that silly battle cannon.
They also have a battle cannon, and they've got a flame. They got a flame template.
They're very hard to kill, actually. Surprisingly.
They have Shroud.
Yeah.
What is the new flyer's name? The Chaos Flyer again?
Like
the one
that
barrel rolls and stuff like that.
The Hellblade is what we're talking about.
Okay.
The ones that we're all hot on. Guys, it's 11 o'clock. We have burned through it.
Man, I know.
Guys, man, I feel like we've had a pretty packed webcast. I want to thank everybody for
man, I was doing my best to try to rapid fire through some of these questions, but you guys were just on point, just shooting us at them. So thanks everybody for engaging.
If anybody we didn't get to and you still want an answer, hit us on Facebook or leave a comment on the YouTube channel. I mean, I will be happy to respond, or we'll all pull in and get our brain going and figuring out whatever it is the best way to do it, especially if it's a rules question for the upcoming seasonal. Oh, yeah. We hope we see as many people as we possibly can there.
And if you didn't like any of our answers, just hit us up on our HR department. They 1-800.
That's right. You can send that.
Or you can bribe one of us.
Cares.
I like cats. I'll take an extra cat.
Toys and any all cat related accessories.
Yep.
That is TPM Cares with a Z.
There you go. Well,
real quick, just one correction as we go out. That formation we're talking about, you also have to take a Storm Raven.
Ooh, that's good.
Well, 4 Storm Ravens it is then.
Yep, 4 Storm Ravens.
I like that means the Stern Guard basically ought to go in the Storm Raven.
They actually do. I think it says they have
the Stern Guard have to go in the Storm Raven.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, guys, again,
if they knew I was going to do that anyway.
Juice, thanks for joining us remotely.
Oh, yeah.
Rob, thanks for being on location. Thank you guys very much. Everybody, good luck in the tournaments they got coming up this weekend. I hope we did something one way or the other. We will talk to you guys next week. Listen to us on the podcast.
Juice has got something there.
Oh, is that the Hierophant?
Man, this is how we're going out tonight. Oh, new hot fleet.
Good night, everybody.